folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome to the start of our second full season in charge of OGC Nice in Football Manager 2021's Conquering the Euro. Now this is a perfect time for you to step in if you haven't watched the series before, and in this series we aim to win 3 European leagues, starting with the French League. Now we have took charge of OGC Nice, we did a beta save with Wolverhampton Wanderers and this is in this world. We then took charge of OGC Nice, we had a few games in there in the first season and we finished 11th. We couldn't really do a lot about that, but we had a good recovery campaign last year and finished 7th. It was very tight to us getting European football. We were only a point off getting European football, and that's hurt us a little bit. We've had a good summer, as I say. It's definitely a good point to step back in today. So strap yourselves in. It should be an exciting season, this one. We're going to play our first game today. We might play our first 2 games, depending on how we get on, how long the transfers take to talk about. But we've had a good summer, definitely. The good news is, first off, is that the 2 players we thought we might have lost, Florinal Coman, or Florinal Coman. I always want to say Kinkley, but it's not Kinkley Coman, it's Florinal. Someone like that. I don't want to ruin all the squad. Florinal, that's right. And Kasper Dolberg, both of those guys have stayed at the club. Now, we had £16 million to spend, so we didn't have the world at our feet. So we had to stay fairly modest, which is something I'm quite good at anyway. You know, if you've watched my previous content, that I don't like to spend lots of money. I'd rather get value for my money and bang for your buck, really. Let's talk about the outs, though, first, before we talk about who came in. It makes sense. That's a bit more logical. Danilo has left the club, 28 years old. He's gone to Bournemouth for £4.5 million. I'd have liked a little bit more than that, to be quite honest. He was worth about £7.5, but seemed like a sensible transfer. We have got a lot of central midfielders, and he just wasn't being played, really, to be honest. If you look last year, he got 10 matches for us. He wanted to be a first-teamer, and I guess 10 matches out of 38 isn't good enough. So not a bad sale there, and it gets him off the books. Glenn Durand, who came in last year for £1.1 million from Lorient, has gone out on loan to a few divisions below us. Paul Bernadoni has left the club. You might be surprised to hear this one, but Bernadoni has gone to Crystal Palace for £12 million. Considering that we bought him for £2.1 million a few years ago, it felt like when they come in with this offer, obviously they came in with probably about £8 million, and then we had to increase it to 12. But I thought, you know, it's an offer that's too good to lose, really. I think we can bring a goalkeeper in for just that amount of money. We've bought someone who's a few years younger, and I think a better keeper. We'll talk about him in a minute. Not a bad sale, though, I don't think. We could have got a bit more for him, but not bad at all. We've also sold a Mafendai to Aston Villa. Again, one you might be shocked at, but you can tell from my commentary, he's a player that I've just never really clicked with. He seems to be too greedy out on that wing. Again, a player that we signed for £2.5 million, and he's only gone to Villa for 16, but with add-ons, you know, all that sort of stuff, etc., etc., it will go up to £24.5 million. I can't seem to get the old... Oh, no, I can. If we go to transfers, clauses, out, and die. Where is he? Is he on this list? I don't think he is. Or is it in? Yes, that's it. So, £3.1 million after 20 league appearances, £2.1 million for the next 10, and £3.1 after 20 league goals. So hopefully he scores a few for the Villa. But again, we've got Sakaria, who's played brilliantly on that right wing, and Dyche wasn't getting picked as much as he could have done, really. We've also sold a few fringe players. I'm not going to go through them all. The likes of Lucas D'Acunha, Decore, Raynet was getting on and was a third choice. We didn't need him. So for those players, maybe that free, we've got a combined about £3.5 million from them. A few players went out on frees as well. Belnyahan, Ben Sekir. Inzaghi went as well, which is one we were gutted at, but we knew about that because Brighton had signed him on under Bosman terms. But we also got rid of Ibrahim Sangare. Again, another central midfielder. One you might be surprised, but again, we made a profit on him. He made 7 appearances last year. Just shows that Mokaina and Chalobah have really got those 2 places sorted. We've sent some youngsters out on loan, but not dramatic in terms of outs. That £44 million took up, obviously, majoritively, really, by those 2 players, Ndai and Bernadoni. But some good sales there. I think that we've made some decent money. So we've brought 6 players in. Just check there's nobody that came in at the end of last year. No, there wasn't, so that's okay. First player we bought in was Ryan Sessegnon, and I thought this was a brilliant signing. He was released by Tottenham on a free transfer, and because I know English football very well, I thought this could be a good player. He's 24 years of age, can play left back and also can play left wing. And I was foreshadowing a little bit that either Florinal Coman or Kasper Dolberg might have left the club. because if they'd have left the club, we'd have had a bit of a problem on the left wing. Zakaria really plays right wing. Satona plays up front. Maya Leader would have been our best player. So Sessegnon's a really good player, particularly as a free transfer. I think we've paid a bit too much for him personally in terms of his wages. But he's a player, again, if nothing else, he's a profit player. He's played decently for Spurs. He's got plenty of experience in Europe's top leagues. And I think he'll certainly come in handy as a second choice on that left wing. We talked last time about Ismail Sazmaz. He's definitely one for the future, is he? 2.8 million from Herenveen from the Eredivisie. Again, right winger. He's going to be in the under-19s. Not going to see a lot of him this year. The same goes for Baba Al Hassan. And these have really just come from the scouts suggesting that some of these players are worth signing. And again, the same goes for Carlos Dota as well as Fabrice Pascal. Again, all good prospects. We haven't made the most transfers, but the one big money transfer, which, sort of 70% of that outgoings has gone on, is Hugo Susa from Tottenham Hotspur. Direct replacement for Paul Bernadoni. If you compare the two players, I think that Susa's the better player. You can see that maybe communication's a little bit better from Bernadoni. I don't think eccentricity is a good trait to have. But again, a few years younger, £13.5 million, 10 clean sheets for Spurs last year, 7 rates, and he's had plenty of experience, and I think he'll come in and defend pretty well for us. We were actually going to bring Jack Butland in as well, but I thought, well, Maxime Dupes there, we don't need 3 goalkeepers, and Butland was asking for 20,000 a week, so it just didn't seem like there was any point. So the squad after summer looks a bit like this. This is our first choice squad, apart from one player who's going to be out, who is Kasper Dolberg. He's got a suspension for the next match because of the high foot in the last match from last year. But I'm happy with this squad. Not massive changes. Hugo Sousa's in, obviously. Sessegnon comes into play at left back for the moment because Reece is another player that's injured. But Cole Palmer at central attacking midfield. Sousa's obviously in goal. I'm happy with this squad. I really am. I think last year was a transition year, and this year is really where we really start to kick on a little bit. So most of the teams have played their first games. Monaco drew with Toulouse, a bit of a surprise. Marseille also drew on their first match. Strasbourg beat Stade Rennais. So some interesting results, but let's get into it, shall we? Let's go for the first game of our season. I've shown you the starting 11. There are a few awkward bits and pieces because there are players injured, suspended. England won the Euros, which for anybody who follows Football Manager will tend to not be too surprised with, because England are quite overrated, personally, I think, when it comes to Football Manager. And the dog's barking out there. But I think that Deji Satona has to be the first choice up front. He played so well for us last year. I guess Enzo Crivelli and Tero Mofi can be disappointed. They're both only on the bench. But we can't drop him. We just can't drop him. And because Crivelli nor Mofi are very versatile, they can't really get into the squad. So let's see how we're going on against Nimes today. We played against Monaco in the first game last year. That was a toughie, but I would expect to get 3 points out of this. We've got Strasbourg up next, and they beat Stade Rennais, so not an easy match by any stretch. But I think this is the year where we start to go for it. I think we have to finish in the top 5 this year. I think if we finish 6th or 7th and we're just off again, then okay, fair enough. But if we are quite a way off, I think we look to go elsewhere because we want to win this league. And if this year we don't show signs of really boosting ourselves and getting up the table, then I don't think it's going to happen. And we're looking to win trophies. I'm happy for it to take time, but if we're not going forward, then ultimately I don't think it's ever going to happen in any short-term aspect. But a good ball from Satona to Coman. Coman gets tackled. Well, interesting, but I think to be fair, the defender did get the ball. I can't really argue with that too much. But let's see. Can they get a goal on the edge of half-time? That would be a disastrous start, wouldn't it, for us to go 1-0 down. He's been chased, is their player, by Sessegnon. And a good tackle from him. Basically, the player just kicked it into Sessegnon. But he's had a good start. A lovely ball there to Cole Palmer on the left wing. Cole Palmer beats the defender into Deji Satona. But it's Zakaria who gets our first goal of the season to Satona with the shot. But it went off the defender. The goalkeeper went diving. And Zakaria had quite an easy tap-in. But nice to see all of our attackers combining quite well. We've also got a bit of a stadium expansion coming, which, again, I wouldn't really rave about because it's only, I think it's something like a 4,000 seat upgrade, but nevertheless, I didn't think there was any harm in trying to improve the club's infrastructure. We actually don't own our stadium. I think that's a bit of a problem. But we've not started the season too badly here. We are an hour in. We seem to be playing well. I don't want to jinx this, so I'm going to shut up for a minute in case they make it one each. But we should probably be 2 or 3 up here, I think. And hopefully this should be a counter-attack. Now, a good sliding challenge from Sakaria, but they win the ball back. Musa, but that's a poor pass. Satona with a great sliding tackle. That's it. Lovely way to get the ball back. Coman to Satona. Satona loses it, but gets it back straight away. Chalobah far up the pitch, but I'm happy about that. That's fine. Mokaina covers him. Palmer to Satona. Sakaria shoots. Oh! Does that justify Math Ndiaye leaving the club? Ndiaye goes for 16 million, and the fans are worried, saying, well, who's going to replace him on the right wing? This man, Sakaria, with a beautiful goal. I mean, the first goal wasn't his exact trademark goal, I mean, to overtap him, but that's a lovely finish there from Sakaria. Makes it 2-0 up. I think our build-up play is a little bit too slow, if anything. We're definitely compensating a little bit for what happened last year. Cole Palmer's knackered, so we're going to bring... Do we bring Andretti on for his debut? I am very tempted. Well, it's either him or Malero, and I don't think Malero's a great attacking midfielder. Do we bring Peter Andretti on for his debut? He's a young player. You can see he looks like a good player. I'm gonna bring him on. I'm gonna bring him on for his first run out. Apparently, he's the same rating as Cole Palmer, so let's see if he has a good game. We will bring Malero on though for Mokaini. We don't want to get too many yellow cards early on in the year because it doesn't help. You know, we have got quite a small squad, but that's the way I like it in Football Manager. I don't like to have big squads because I tend to have a starting 11 that we pick. And really, there's not much wriggle room on that. And that's the way I function. And if we do get a lot of injuries, a lot of suspensions, etc., then we might have a problem. But so this has been a good start to the season, I'd say. Sessegnon very nearly getting a debut goal. But 2-0, I'm happy with that. We've dominated against Nimes here. It should be a clean sheet, so a good start for Hugo Susa. And a solid 3 points to start the season away from home. I'll take that. Our defence all played well. Sakaria, man of the match. I'm happy with that. I am happy with that. Well done, lads. Good win for us. Good start to the year. And because we haven't really had a long episode today, we will play the second match against Strasbourg. So if we can win that, 6 from the first 2 games would be a great start to the season. Confession. I forgot about this. There was an offer made for Crivelli to go to Udinese. And I'm very tempted. 13.75 million. He's 29 years of age. Again, we'd more than double our money on him. He's a good player, but we've got Mofi, who's second choice. He's really third choice now. And I think that it's a risk because he's a highly influential player. And I don't want to lose too many of them. We have got Coman in there, that's okay. I suppose that the likes of Chalobah might join up to that. Do we sell him? I think we do. He was a great player for us. He really was, Crivelli. He had a good start. He was our main man when we come into the club, but he's been overtaken by players, and I think that, again, another good sale. 29 years of age. We want to build a decently young squad here. We've got Satona, who is only... can't be old. Only 21. Again, he's doing very well. And Mofi's 25. I think that's a no-brainer. So we're ready for the second game of the episode against Strasbourg. A few changes. Gertruda finally makes his debut for the club at right back. He did sign in January, but after even the registration deadline. So he finally makes his debut today. Dolberg with his first appearance of the season. Cole Palmer's substituting onto the bench. And Terra Mofi starts today ahead of Deji Satona. Again, I think because we've got 2 strikers now, we really have to rotate them. We have to. If Satona's on the pitch all the time, and Mofi doesn't get a look in, then why did we sign him for 12 million? Let's see what he can do today. But a relatively similar team to the team that played last time out. Gravelon goes to centre-back. Jorge Fernandez misses out. It's just all that rotational stuff. We've got a 15, 16-man squad. It's just all about finding out the team that will play this year. The constant starting 11, if you like. But it seems that a lot of teams have only got 3 or 4 points to start off the year. Only PSG have had 6 points in their first 2 matches. So if we can join them, that would be a great start. It'd be really nice. To be fair, it's not the hardest of starts to play against these teams, but every match counts the same, whether you're playing against PSG or the most newly promoted club. Can we get an early goal here? Kasper Dolberg to Sakaria. Sakaria through. Sakaria back to Mokaina. Clever play there. Mokaina into Coman. What can Coman do? Oh, that's got to be a penalty. Well, Coman's either dived or he was tripped, but key here is that Toure, I wonder if it's Almami Toure. He's on a yellow card already. There's 7 minutes in and it's a penalty. Is Toure going to be sent off? I don't think he is. Lucky man. But Dolberg has the penalty. Can he get an early goal in this match? And in his first game of the season, he can. Within 7 minutes, we lead in our first home game of the year. To be fair, we looked like we were on top anyway, but that was a definite penalty. But it suggests that it might have been a little bit tame in that Toure only got the yellow card from the previous challenge, but didn't get anything for that. Sessegnon into the box to Sakaria. Oh, very nearly 2-0 within 11 minutes, but I know we're playing opposition that maybe isn't as good as us, but we are seeming to have a good start. Our back line doesn't seem to be troubled too much. Our forwards are combining nicely, and it's all rosy at the moment. I'm waiting for it to all go down the pan in a minute. But again, our attackers are playing well. Sessegnon apparently is having a very good game, which is good to see. Poor throw-in there from Gertrude, I have to say, or Gertrude, not sure. But let's see. Can Strasbourg make it one each? I hope not. Almi Toure. We're keeping them in their own half, generally. We're closing down quite well. This is when they get into the box and score here. But we're looking a lot better than last year. It seems like that sides are having to play a little bit of a slower tempo against us, not being able to get through. But again, this is where I jinx myself. I know it. But something's going to happen here. Either we're going to pinch the ball back for a counter, or they're going to score. And I think it's going to be the second one. But a lovely save from Hugo Susa. Yes, he couldn't keep hold of the ball, but he did enough there. A very nice shot from whoever that was. A nice long-range effort, but our Hugo had got that one covered. Dolberg to Sessegnon into the box. Nothing really came of that, unfortunately, but I think Gravelon has got this covered at the back. Pass it back to your keeper if you want. But no, he goes forward, which is okay in the circumstances, but I wouldn't encourage that all the time. Chalobah, Sakaria, Mofi with a shot! Very nearly 2-0. There's been some good chances so far. Again, we're not surprised that we're shooting a lot. I like that. I just think that we might need to be a bit more clinical. 3 shots on target from 11. An XG of nearly 2. It suggests we're in pretty good form. Again, once again, like the last match, we lead 1-0 at half-time. If we can get a second one in the second half and win this one 2-0, I'd be a very happy chap after the first 2 games of the season. But not too bad. Not really much to comment on here. It's not been the most exciting of matches. Let's see what happens here. Mokaina to Chalobah. Oh, Chalobah nearly loses it, but he recovers well. Mokaina. Gravelon. This is the only situation that unnerves me here about the potential of a counter-attack. You can see our 2 defenders are back there, but say Gertrude loses the ball now, they can ping the ball up. And I hope I haven't foreshadowed that. But let's see. Gravelon to Gertrude. Back to Gravelon. Mokaina. Steady build-up play here, trying to find the space, but here we go. This is where it goes wrong. Sargent. Through, but Trooster-Kong's got that covered. But again, that's poor. That's poor passing. But again, poor passing from Strasbourg. Not the best from us, but we are almost given a chance. Sakaria. What can he do? He shoots. Oh, very nearly 2-0. Very, 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 very nearly 2-0. No, nothing coming of that. But we're an hour in. We're 1-0 up. We'll take that. I just want that second goal as a bit of security. We're going to bring a few players. Well, just probably the one player off. Dolberg looks knackered. And I'm okay with that. We'll bring Cole Palmer on for him. But this is really starting to become our own side now. There are a lot of players that we've brought into the club. Again, Sessegnon being one. I'm hoping they all pass to each other now to prove me right. There we go. Cole Palmer being another one. Chalobah, of course. Terem Mofi, the keeper. Hugo. This is really becoming our own squad. But a lovely ball from Trooster-Kong to Terem Mofi. How does he not score that? But oh, God. How does that not... How does that not get scored by anyone? Amazing. Amazing. Coman and Mofi both had a chance there, but neither of them could finish. How this game is still 1-0, I will never know. I will never know. And arguably, we should get punished if Strasbourg... Because every team, it's a fact, in every football game, every team always gets a chance. But Zakaria, can he get a chance? Not great there, but again, we've got it covered. Coman... Into the box for Sakaria. That's just too tame. Exactly. Yeah, that seems to be playing with a lot of nerves. Oh, well. Just get our players to focus, I suppose. That's the only thing we can do. But this is a little bit bizarre. A little bit of a worry that we're not quite finishing our chances. And we'll bring Malero on for Chalobah. And we'll put my leader on the left to bring on for Coman. But I'm not too happy with it being only 1-0 here. The fact we've had good XG suggests that maybe we could have done something a bit more with this. If it does end 1-0, I'm happy, but I'd have liked the margin to be a bit bigger. But 2 wins in 2 games to start the season off, 2 clean sheets. Albeit there, it was a penalty that won it for us. But sometimes that's all you need. That is all you need. I don't really complain too much about that. 2 wins from 2. Arsenal bring Henry back. Have they put another club legend in charge? They have. Wow. Mikel Arteta's been sick. God. Well, there you go. Henry's gone to Arsenal. Let's see how that one goes. But, yeah, good episode. 2 wins from 2. Only ourselves and PSG on that total. So that's a pretty good accolade for us. Lyon have lost 2 in 2 against Nantes and PSG. So not a good start for them. But it's very early days. It is. It's very early days. So we'll probably come back in the next episode for the games. Probably against Nantes and PSG. I think Nantes are a good team to play against. And we'll also play against PSG in that. So you'll have 3 games to wait. I just want to make sure we do a few more this year because I appreciate we only had 6 episodes last year. But a thumbs up definitely from me as it starts the season. Leave me a thumbs up down below if you enjoyed that. Also make sure to comment your thoughts. Subscribe for regular Football Manager 2021 content on a Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. No, get it right. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday. But anyway, thank you for watching. I've been TIJ Gaming and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Yeah, I can't even get my own schedule right. I'll see you guys on Thursday for the next one. Goodbye for now.